I would like to ask y'all, what is your meaning of productivity? Tell me, what do you call a productive day? Can someone unmute and give the answer?
Can I?
Yes, Tejaswini, sure.
Productivity means full potential input, so we can get proper output.
Okay, Tejaswini, I have a follow-up question for you.
Hmm.
When do you feel that this day was productive? आपको कैसे पता चलता है कि आज मैंने अपना पूरा पोटेंशियल से काम किया है? How do you feel after that day?
Hmm. Means how do I feel after that day, or what is my experience that I feel the day is fully productive?
You can give both the answers. Both of them are relevant.
Okay, so when I attend my lecture with full of my focus and then carry my day with some fitness trainings like workout and all, so I feel my day is some productive.
Yes, wow, Tejaswini, you gave a very good answer. So, anyone else wants to answer this question that what do you call a productive day? What is your experience of a productive day? The more answers and opinions we have, the more interesting the session is going to be.
Completing the tasks that we have to complete is
Okay,
productive.
completing the task that we have to complete. So, Chetan, I have a follow-up question for you. How do you decide which task you have to complete? Do you have a habit of making a to-do list or somebody tells you what to do?
No, I have a habit of making a to-do list.
You have a habit of making a to-do list. And how is that habit working for you so far?
Not great actually.
Okay, not great. Okay, so when we move forward in the session, I will ask you a few more follow-up questions when we specifically go to the productivity part. So thank you, Tejaswini. Thank you, Chetan. You gave me a good start. And now I want to ask you all is, as students, as somebody from the age of 18, 19, and 20, what is the most important thing for you in life? What is your number one priority? Can I have some answers?
Job.
Job. Very good, Sarthak. And Sarthak seems to be an ambitious person because I can see he has put up Sundar Pichai on his DP. Am I right, Sarthak?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Sarthak. Anybody else who wants to answer this question? Being able to take
I think
responsibilities, Sarvesh, very nice. Tejaswini, come on.
building a career is very important for me right now and for everybody, I think.
Yes, building a career. Now, I got all your priorities and points. But tell me, guys, when we are trying to cut vegetables, okay? Let's take an example of cutting vegetables. In order to cut vegetables properly, what is that one thing that you need to make sure before going and cutting vegetables? Anybody has an answer?
Focus.
Focus, that's very nice. But what do you cut vegetables with? What is the instrument?
Knife.
Knife.
Sharp knife.
Yes, knife. So will you use a sharp knife to cut a vegetable or will you use a blunt knife to cut a vegetable?
Sharp
Sharp.
knife.
Sharp.
A sharp knife, right? The faster we want to cut vegetable, the sharper knife we take. So in order to build our careers, to complete a task, what do you think is the instrument that we use?
Focus.
Okay, focus. Where does focus come from? Who is focusing, Sarthak?
I am focusing.
You are focusing. So let me ask you, are you focusing with your mind or are you focusing with your body or what are you focusing with?
I am focusing on the subject which I am learning right at this point of time.
Yes, but what is helping you focus? What are you focusing your attention on?
Mind.
Your mind. So would you like to have a sharp focused mind or a mind that is confused, a mind that is stressed, or what kind of mind?
Absolutely. Sharp mind.
Absolutely a sharp mind, right? So if somebody is an athlete and wants to run a long race, then what is the instrument for that athlete? Anyone?
He should be determined in his
His fast
activity.
running skill.
His fast running skill. So what an athlete does in order to run fast, anybody knows? Anybody from the sports background?
Stamina.
Stamina. So how does an athlete build his stamina? What does he do?
He should be determined in doing the activity which is doing.
Yes, he should be determining. But you know what, guys? We are missing on a key thing here. And that is
Daily
the
practice.
purpose.
Daily practice.
Practice, yes. But the key thing that we are going to focus today are the basics that usually as students we don't have them right. And the question we started with was, what is the most important thing for you in life? And you gave me all the answers that are our surroundings. You told about your career. Somebody said taking responsibility. But who wants to build a good career? Who is taking that responsibility? It is me, right? So keeping this instrument, I am an instrument. My body is an instrument. My mind is an instrument. So keeping this instrument proper, that is keeping myself healthy, is the basic to accomplish all those things. Do you all agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Type in the chat box. So hereafter, if somebody asks you, what is the most important thing for you in life? Will not the answer be health?
Yes, mental health is also important.
Yes, mental health. So now here on in the session, when I say health, it is mental health, it is your physical health, it is your emotional health. Because if you're keeping the instrument proper, then only you will be able to perform actions. Like we said, we want a sharp knife. We want a sharp intellect. An athlete wants stronger legs. So focusing on keeping the instrument proper. So time management and stress management are a product of having healthy habits that help you function properly. So say it with me, time management
Time management
and health management
and
And
health
health
management
management
are
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 products of building healthy habits
products
products
of
of
building healthy
building
habits
healthy habits
and functioning properly.
and
and functioning
functioning
properly.
properly.
So is the base set right that we are going to focus on having efficiency? We are going to focus on having healthy habits. We are going to focus on having a good functioning. Okay. If we function properly, if we take charge, and if we become CEOs of ourselves, okay, top functioning executives, no matter you are students, no matter we are just entering our working professions, but we are going to manage ourselves like CEOs do. So do you think it will be effective and help you function highly?
For sure, ma'am.
Yes. So we are going to go ahead with the session with this intention. Okay. So we had different answers about productivity, and I'll give you what really productivity means throughout the session. So I am sharing my screen and I won't be able to see you all. So if there is anything that you want to say, you can unmute and say, and we will be taking questions at the end of few slides. So I will tell you all, now you can ask questions. That time you can ask questions. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so welcome to the session of time and stress management. I'm very happy to see all of you. Now, as I said, time management and stress management is a product of having healthy habits. So when we ask a question, how do I effectively manage my time? Or how do I effectively handle stress? Or how do I be productive? It's not the time or stress, all these things that we want to manage, or we are lacking motivation, or we are not able to do things. We are lost in our thoughts. The main problem is that it's not that we are not valuing our time or just wasting it. We all know, right? Time is very precious. Since childhood, we are listening. Time is money. Time is valuable. So many people say, stop wasting time. But what is the reason that we don't get up and do things that we want to do? We have a to-do list. We know what to do. We know the repercussions of not following deadlines. We know what is the punishment of it. We know what is the pain of it. We know what is the pleasure of accomplishing tasks. We know all of that, but still then we don't go and get things done. The reason here is to understand that throughout the day we have limited energy. We say that we have limited time of 24 hours, but the game here is of your energy, your internal energy. So if you use that energy properly as a currency, like money, that time you will understand how do I deal with my energy. And then you'll stop focusing on things that are surroundings like time and stress. All these things are byproduct. The main thing is your energy that exists within you. You have to use that energy properly. You have to see what I'm doing with that energy and then go ahead. If you make your basics right in this session, trust me guys, throughout your student life, you will be able to understand how do I take charge of my time, my energy, and my results. Okay. So this is an energy tank. Okay. So here are few inlets and few outlets. Can you see two inlets here?
Yes,
That is,
ma'am.
we are getting energy from those inlets. And then there is an output that we want to give out of that energy. And there are some leaks in the tank. So can somebody of you tell me, where do we get our energy from? Someone of you please unmute and give quick answers. We want to...
Food and sleep. Food and
Yes.
rest. Yeah.
Food and rest. Somebody gave really good answers. And new people, please give answers, okay? And what do you think are these drains?
Our work,
Okay,
whatever we are doing.
overwork. Okay. And what do you think is this output? Anyone of you?
Results of our work.
Okay, results of our work. So I want to see you this energy tank as literally a tank of water that we have. And we have two inlets and few outlets and some leaks happening, okay? And then as we go ahead, you will understand how this tank functions. Okay, so when a task is given to you or when you plan your day, how exactly you do it? Any one of you unmute and tell me, what do you exactly do to plan your day? Any one of you? Because we're discussing about the... Yes.
I have decided my daily schedule. Uh, I wake up early in the morning and I have planned till the college start. I will study, and this is my uh, daily schedule. And after my college ends, I will also start it. That means I wanted to say that my schedule of study is fixed.
Okay, your schedule of studying is fixed. So tell me, how do you feel when you are, about to go to the bed? Do you feel that your energy is drained or you feel full of energy? How do you feel just before going to bed?
If I watch so many videos before the sleep, then I feel stressed, and if I studied, then I feel bit of energy having.
Okay, very good. That's mean. Can you recognize this drains, that leaks that I'm talking about? Can we say that if you watch too many videos, like if you binge watch, it is draining your energy?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so if I was to ask you, will you put studies as a refuel in the tank, or are studies an output for you, or studies draining for you? Whoever gave the answer.
I think 5 minute break or something humor or something like talking with my friends can refuel my energy.
Okay, that's a really good observation. That means you're self-aware of what is draining your energy and what is refueling your energy. So from here after, guys, I want you all to be aware of what are your habits that are fueling your energy up. What are the habits that where you have to give your maximum output, and what are the habits that are draining you, taking away energy from you. Okay, and based on this, we decide the priorities. Okay, we decide the schedule and then we execute. Okay, so do we have a solid base for planning now? Can I have a yes,
Yes,
a
ma'am.
loud yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so did you find the concept of energy tank interesting, or was it so okay?
Ma'am, it's interesting, ma'am.
Yes. So let's go to how do we prioritize our task. That means how do you decide what should I do first, what should I do second, कौन से काम को कितना time देना है, what percentage of time do I give to what activity? How do you decide that? Now, someone who gave the answer said that I give this amount of time to studying. But if you're a person like me who has so many hobbies to do and some of extracurricular activities that I used to do in college, trust me, guy, I was huge on extracurricular activities. I had so many activities to do. I was the chairperson of social welfare and development. I have managed around 121 people as a chairperson, and we conducted 25 activities with more than 1600 volunteers. So that was the level of extracurricular activities I did in my college. So all my time management, stress management lessons are learned actually by execution, by experience. So that is what I'm sharing with you people. So has anybody of you heard about this urgent important matrix? Seen this
Yes,
before?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So this is a very helpful matrix, but usually when this matrix is told to us by our teachers or on other online platforms, we don't know how to exactly use it. It is not just about filling up your priorities in this matrix or box. It is to really understand that which of this block is your refuel, which of this block is your output, and which of this block are your draining points. Okay. So any one of you tell me all the priorities. We will fill one by one, we'll fill this block. So Tejaswini had started and I had said that, okay, I'll take you up when we set priorities. So Tejaswini, can you tell me what will you put in this block of urgent and important?
Right now, in urgent and important, I can put my NSEM examination syllabus.
Okay, your NSEM examination syllabus. So can you give me 1 point for not urgent, but it is important for you?
Actually, we are working on some projects. Like we have subject like PBLs and all. So it is urgent, but not that important.
Okay. And what about not urgent and not important, but you still do?
Fourth semester studies, which are not urgent and not important yet.
Not important yet, but are they not important in long term?
In long term, they are important, but
So I'm saying
in
something that is not
today's day.
important urgently and not even important long term. We have to fill those things.
Okay.
Watching reels of Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's a very good
Yes, yes,
example to
yes.
put in that block.
Yes, we can put that
And
in.
what about urgent and not important?
Urgent and not important. I
Okay,
don't found such, ma'am, like urgent and not important.
so this block is usually too very difficult to fill up, but I'll give you a few examples. So anybody who is interested in filling any of the one blocks, you think that this is the thing that should be going in that block, anyone can unmute and answer. So should we go ahead? Yes.
For the fourth block, cleaning a messy room. It's urgent, but it's not important. Like,
Okay. So for you, it might be like that, you know. It might be urgent but not important for you. Maybe because you don't think cleaning is that important. But for somebody, it can be very, very important. I know people for whom cleaning is like urgent and important. So this metrics are subjective to you. Okay. Something that is important for me may not be important for you. So for you, if it goes in block 4, it can go in block 4. So these kind of things. So many times when it is household chores that we have to do, like there is a leakage in a tap or some plumbing work or something came up urgently and you think it's not important, but it is urgent to fix, otherwise it is going to cause headache to you itself. So those kind of things come in urgent and not important. So thank you so much for filling up that block for us, and let's move on. Yes,
Ma'am, can I say one more? Urgent
yes,
but not important. Like
yes.
phone calls.
Yes, you know, there can be a phone call that you have to urgently pick up, but then it is not important for you. It might be important for the person who is calling you up because he wants to get something done from you, but might not be important for you. Very good, very good. Thank you for giving me that answer. So see, when you guys speak and give your input, the session becomes really value adding, right? So come on, students, come and give up answers. It is you who are going to give answers and learn from your own answers. This is the purpose of our session. Okay. So I have filled this according to my priorities. Okay. If you see, I have written that the things which are urgent and important that I thought when I was in college were these things: my assignments, the project which are coming up with close deadlines. They are urgent, right? And some documentation work. Now, for me, documentation is important. Why is it important? I will tell you all later. There is something that drains our energy, that is not urgent and not important work. Binge watching, gaming, mindlessly scrolling. As I said, that reels, we keep on scrolling on reels, but not able to do anything good out of it. Then something that is not urgent, but very, very important for me. So exercising, none of you spoke about exercising while adding them into the block. Like Tejaswini said in the beginning that working out is important for her, right? So reading is
Yes, ma'am.
something that I like to do. It is not important. It is urgent. It is not urgent, but it is important for me. Then meditation, then hobbies. Hobbies are really, really important for me. Hobbies are not urgent, but for me, creative self-expression is very important because it is necessary for my emotional and mental well-being. That is why I'm putting it into the important block. So as I said, we'll always keep in mind the overall well-being, our body's well-being, our mind's well-being, our emotional well-being, and then setting priorities. Why? Because then you will follow those priorities. Okay. And something like household emergencies that we talked about, like there's a leak in your home or something broke and you want to fix it, you want to call up somebody and get it fixed. So all those things come into urgent but not important. Now a very important question, how to use this metrics. हम सब लोग इस metrics को fill कर सकते हैं, but इस metrics का main purpose क्या है? Main purpose ये है कि कोई एक मुझे बताओ, what do you think are the output of that energy tank? What do you think are the leaks of the energy tank? And what do you think are the inputs of the energy tank? Anyone?
Leaks will be not urgent, not important column.
Exactly. Very good. So do you understand now where do you lose your time? Is that question understood now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I am
Yes.
facing this problem, ma'am.
Yes,
Mindless
ma'am.
scrolling. I have
Mindless.
overcome this binge watching and gaming, but I don't find the perfect answer or you can say solution for mindless scrolling. It takes me so much time.
I'll tell you why is that happening, and how do you exactly deal with it. Okay, I'll take your question for sure. It is a big part of our time management and stress management session. Okay, so thank you for sharing that with us. Next. So leaks and drains pata chal gaya. Tell us about the output, or tell us about the refuel.
Sir, ma'am, urgent and important can be our output.
Very good. Urgent and important will be our output because we want to do those things with full on energy, aren't we? We want
Yes.
to put our everything in our urgent and important work. So that is our output, and we want to give the maximum output. That is productivity, right? So what do you think are refuels?
Not
Not
urgent and
Not
urgent,
urgent
important.
but important.
Yes, perfectly said. Now you guys are catching up the session. Not urgent but important things are a refuel. So in order to be productive, what is the component that you will want to spend maximum time on?
Urgent and important.
Okay. So imagine the tank again. Whoever gave me the answer, it is your output, okay? It is the output that you want to give, urgent and important. And not urgent and important is your input. So if you want to keep the tank filled, energy, we want to keep our energy high, right? So if you want to keep the tank filled for maximum time, do you increase the input or do you increase the output?
We increase the input.
Input, yes. So if you have a very good amount of input, then your tank will also be filled and you will be giving good output too. Okay, if your input is full on with force, it is happening at a very good volume, then automatically the output will be also with force, and it will be happening with a lot of volume, and your tank will also be filled, right? So for that, there's one more thing that we need to do. How do you think should be the quantity of drains, the leaks?
Very minimum.
Very minimum, rightly said. So now do you understand how to use this matrix as students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So I urge you all that make this matrix before every week, okay? So making matrix every single day can be very tedious as students. You know, if we do something every single day, it usually happens that you get used to it or you get bored of it. So what I want you all to do is do this for every week. Okay, see what is coming close to the deadlines, see what exercises you want to do. If you're somebody who plans your exercises, do that. See what all things, you know, you can literally plan what do you want to watch. If you are somebody who likes to watch web series, you like to, you know, watch movies, and then you would like to discuss with your friends all those things, so you can schedule that too. Okay, so doing that in minimum quantity and scheduling it will not make you feel drained. Okay, so let's move on to something called as procrastination. So how many of you have this issue of procrastinating? Be honest and tell me. So I will stop sharing the screen for some time and let's discuss. Okay, so keep your cameras on, guys, if you want. There was somebody's camera on, but now it's off. Okay, no problem. Now what we will do is that I asked you a question. How many of you face the problem of procrastination?
Yes, ma'am, I do face the same.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am, I
Shubham
do
is.
It's
face
every
procrastination.
Okay. Now
But
there's
ma'am,
some.
procrastination is held due to some casual reasons. Like if we plan something for a day and suddenly it won't happen. Like I have to reach to some destination at that time and my vehicle fails off. So
See, that is not
it's natural.
procrastination, you know. If there is a genuine problem, that is a technical issue. That is not procrastination. Okay, there is something
Sometimes
that
it
really.
occurs due to it.
Yes, we have to miss on things due to technical issues. Now, there was something interesting in the chat box I did not see because I was in presentation mode. Somebody said building relationships are not urgent but important. Sarthak, claps for you, really claps for you, that you emphasized on something really important as students and as youngsters, that having good relationship, building network is very important for us. It is something that fuels up our energy. Some of you said that talking to my friends actually gives me a lot of energy. So I appreciate that answer. And now we will move on to procrastination. Procrastination means to delay things purposely. There are two reasons why people procrastinate. One reason is that they don't have the skill set or the competency to perform certain action. Okay? They don't know how to do that. And they are getting overwhelmed by it. Overwhelmed means that they're really getting frustrated, they're not understanding how to start, what to do, and that is why they are procrastinating and delaying. There are second kind of people who know that I'll be able to do this task. As soon as teacher gives you an assignment, you will be like, this is a really easy assignment and let me do it just 1 day or 2 day before our submission. We all do that, right? Even I have done that in my college. But why am I asking you to schedule all these things? You'll get to know is that when you are trying to delay it, you might be telling this to yourself that I am planning it ahead. मैं इसको बाद में करने के लिए प्लान कर रहा हूँ अभी से, so that I give time to my hobbies now. But what you are training your brain is that this is not important for me. लिखने में तो लिख दिया अर्जेंट इंपॉर्टेंट मैट्रिक्स में, असाइनमेंट, प्रोजेक्ट विद डेडलाइंस, बट एक्शन करते हुए ब्रेन को ये समझाया, योर ब्रेन डजंट अंडरस्टैंड दैट थिंग. ओके, व्हाट योर ब्रेन अंडरस्टैंड्स इज योर एक्शंस. सो समझाते हुए क्या समझाया कि करना तो ये है अर्जेंट इंपॉर्टेंट, बट जब एक्शन परफॉर्म किया तब तुमने उसको डीले कर दिया. जैसे ही डीले कर दिया, ब्रेन को पता चला कि दिस इज नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर मी. And now what will happen is, as soon as you approach the task, there will be internal resistance. We do this with so many things. This is a disease of over planning. This is a disease of procrastination hidden under planning and scheduling. So I'll tell you what is the appropriate way of planning as we go ahead. But from now, when students ask me, how do I avoid or how do I overcome procrastination? Let's change the question, because our mind doesn't understand what not to do. It's like telling a taxi driver where not to go. If you're sitting in a taxi, will you tell where you want to go or will you tell where you don't want to go? What will you tell?
Where I want to go.
Where we
Yes.
want to go.
So Sarthak, if I ask you to close your eyes and don't think about a red car. Sarthak, what came into your mind?
Yes, ma'am. Red car.
A red car. But I told you don't think about a red car. How did a red car come into your mind? So that is the hack, okay? Your mind doesn't understand what not to do. In fact, it will multiply whatever you have told. So there will be only this word procrastination running in your mind when you think about productivity, when you think about time management. So what we will be doing is we'll be asking the right question, and that is, how do I be proactive? Okay. So now when we say proactive, instantly my body is reacting in a certain way. It is reacting towards taking action. Okay. So hereafter we will focus on being proactive. Okay. Everyone agrees that we want to be proactive.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So in order to do that, I'll again share my PPT with you all. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we were on being proactive. So how to be proactive? So we are going to see some planning habits that take you towards procrastination and some planning habit that takes you towards achieving your goals proactively, doing things proactively. So someone of you told that to-do list doesn't work for me. A to-do list is not working that good for me. Whoever gave the answer, can you tell me what do you write in your to-do list?
Uh, if I say my to-do list, in the morning I will do the data analytics course,
Yeah.
the time for the data analytics course. After that, college time. After that, I will do for my project of Python, which I am doing. So that is my to-do list.
Okay. So what happens? Why are you not able to put up with the to-do list, or why are you not feeling satisfied after it?
Ma'am, I daily satisfied my what I have put on my to-do list.
Okay. So while making your to-do list or the things that you want to achieve, you have to keep all those things again, your health, your mind, your emotional well-being in your mind, and then do things. So while prioritizing and scheduling, what we want to focus is on not making a very long to-do list. Okay, if you make a very long to-do list, you're already telling your mind that we have so much work to do, and already telling a small child like you have to do this, all of this today. So will that child be willing to even go and take the first step?
No, ma'am.
No.
So that's the same thing with our mind. It doesn't happen that way. So what you do is write on realistic goals. If you are somebody who likes to do day-to-day planning, then just write 3 top priorities that we want to do. And I'll tell you how to set the priorities after this slide, okay? So when you are setting that goal, for example, you want to say that I want to do data analytics course, and then I want to focus time on my exercise too. I want to talk to my friends. What I want you all to do is time that action. Time that actions means what? Whatever planner you have or whatever online planner you use, block the time. Block the time for that activity. Like when I spoke with your president about this session, in my calendar, I blocked this time for this session. And whatever time was required for the pre-planning of the session, like making the slideshow or collecting up research data about it, then I blocked the time for that particular activities too. So what I did instantaneously was that I went ahead and saw that what challenges are students facing about time management. I went in my time back too in my college. What problems did I face? I wrote everything down, started my work. So as soon as you receive your work, do the first action that is required. and then block your time. Time your actions. I will be going to the gym at 4 o'clock. I'll be doing this for 2 hours. Then I'll be coming back and taking up the data analytics course. So this is how, when you give time to the actions, you're more prone to doing that action. Otherwise, just making to-do list and not timing the task will not help you achieve your goals. Okay, so over planning is what? We plan too much about something. Like, for example, our career. We go and watch so many career advisors speak about so many things. We watch the influencers do things. We get peer pressured. We see what our seniors are doing. We see what other people are doing. We see on LinkedIn, all those things. You plan, and take no steps about it. You plan on so many courses that you want to do. You plan on hobbies that you want to pursue. And then when you spend so much of your mental energy on over planning, then you don't take the action. So over planning here is a drain. It's a leak. So plan just precisely. As I have told you, realistic goals, time that goals and take the action. That's it. It doesn't take more than this to plan anything. Okay? And when we are in our young age, we have so much energy. When we take action, we see the results, what mistakes I'm doing, what is the right thing I am doing. Then I again tweak my action a little bit and take the right action again. Do things, see what are the mistakes. So what happens in this process is that you're building a momentum. Like, in order to climb that Mount Everest, you're taking those baby steps. And once you have understood how to climb, you are taking a grip. And then you're climbing faster. Then you're climbing faster. So as the slope is increasing, your momentum is building up. This is how you be proactive. Okay. So if you don't see results in the first place just after starting, taking actions, you should not give up on that thing. You should do it again and again so that you see actions. So when you build momentum on something, you're more likely to achieve it. So Tejaswini said that she goes and works out. So Tejaswini, are you able to stop this habit once you have done it for 3 or 4 months?
No, ma'am.
No, right? Even this happens to me, that I have now done my workouts and going to the gym for 6-7 months. And even if I think of one day not going to the gym, it feels like I am missing out on something that is so important to fuel up my energy. I know that it is building momentum.
That's the thing we feel. Yes.
Yes. So it is a healthy habit to cultivate. So focus on cultivating healthy habit. This builds your proactiveness. Okay. So now we'll talk about proactive execution. We talked about planning. What only things we have to do? Realistic to-do list, just 3 or 4 points for the day. And then we want to take action and give feedbacks to ourselves. Now execution of making that small to-do list. How do you decide those 3-4 points when you have so much to do? There is one thing that is usually said, that eat the frog. Now, what is this frog? This frog is a task that you're running away from. When the task is given to you, your brain literally told you that this is a difficult and challenging task. So you're delaying it, putting it on delay, don't know how to do. So take this task first. This is a very powerful tool. Make it the highlight for that day. And now distribute a time frame. Say to yourself that I'll be doing this in 4 hours. For example, there is a difficult coding assignment that your mind is telling you cannot do. Take that coding assignment, give yourself 3 or 4 hours. First of all, see some examples, some problems that have already been solved, something that you're doing, some hit and trials, and distribute that time in small periods, okay? For example, 20 to 25 minutes, then take a break, 20 to 25 minutes, then taking a break. And after that break, you have to come back. Okay, so that is eating a frog. It is difficult to execute, that your mind is telling you, but you execute it and tell your mind that it wasn't that difficult that you were thinking. So this is how you rewire your brain, you build habits. There are so many things happening about reprogramming your brain or anything like that. See, your mind works on your actions and your language. If you tell it something that you can do this and you're taking action, your mind will help you do that. Okay, it's very simple. Tell what is important and take action accordingly. Okay, second thing is using online resources like Google Calendar. Google Calendar has made my life so simple that I can pursue all my activities, my hobbies, my job, and I can balance it very well when I block time on Google Calendar. 30 minutes before, it gives me a reminder that Rutuja, you have to go and do this thing. Okay, so Google Calendar will help you manage your tasks so that you don't have to remember it in your mind that after this I have to do this. Okay, it will give you a reminder 30 minutes before, so it's not overwhelming for you, and it is like an assistant that you carry in your phone. So if any other resources that you like to use for scheduling, that you can do and share with your friends too. The third thing that I said, that documentation is really important for me. Why is it important for me? That documentation gives me a boost that you have done this thing. Now, whenever I want to go back to that thing, I have already documented it. For example, today it was told to take a session on time management and stress management. If there are certain things that I have already done in the past and I have documented it, it will be very easy for me to take up a session again. It will be easy for me to go and see what problem students face. So you learn from your own work. You can see what improvements you can do, and you can give feedback to yourself. And while documenting what all you did, for example, you document everything that you did about today in a book. And on some day you're not feeling very good, you're not feeling emotionally well, and you go and read it, what all I did. You wrote everything that you're grateful for. So when you write, when you document, it is a reminder for yourself that you can do this. It is like giving inspiration to yourself to do something. And document not just in word files or presentation. I document my life on Instagram too. It is a kind of documentation, right? What all I did today, what am I doing today, how was my session, documenting things on LinkedIn about your career life, documenting things on YouTube about your vlogging. So for our generation, documentation can get as creative as possible. So if you're a creative person, go ahead and document. You'll feel really good after documenting things. So this is proactive execution. You're executing your things and documenting as far as possible, and you're using resources that will make your life simple. So any questions up till now? You can ask me questions.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yes.
Ma'am, why there is a difference between time whenever lecture starts, the first 10 minutes are very, very lengthy, you can say. The time don't flow at that point, and whenever lectures end, that's 5 minutes flew in seconds. We don't think, and this time gone like aeroplane, like something like that.
Okay, so tell me one thing, that do you like attending lectures, or do you don't like attending lectures?
Not these lectures, ma'am, but
any lecture.
What? Any lecture where I am interested, yes.
Yes. So how does time fly that time? Does it fly slow, or in the same pattern that you told before?
So fast, ma'am. So fast. So fast.
So fast. So it was interesting, right? So you can give me your answer in the question itself. Your answer is in your question. When does time, you feel like it just flew away? You don't even know how the time went. When does that happen?
When I am interested, I wanted to spend that time more and more, but this time flows. Why?
Yes, it is because you said that you're interested, right? So when you're interested, you focused all your attention on it, right?
Yes.
When you focused your attention on something, you got involved in it. Okay.
Yes.
Right now I'm teaching you also. I am now completely involved in you. I'm not recalling any problems that I have. I'm not recalling anything that I went and planned ahead. I'm not recalling any other thing. I'm not able to see any other thing. It is just this PPT, the person who is speaking to me, answering his question. When he asks a question, an answer is starting to form in my mind, and I'm completely involved in this task. So when you're completely involved, you experience the state of flow. There is a huge psychological research that is done, and I have read the book Flow. It is an amazing book to read if you want to become productive. Your whole day will pass and it will feel like it just flew away. And that is something that is happening to me from few months. After I've started practically using this proactive execution things, it is when I'm getting completely involved in something, time flies away. So what is the hack of getting into the flow state? First, doing things that you are really, really interested in. For example, your passions. When an athlete is running, he's experiencing the state of flow. He's not able to experience anything, but he's so happy just in the process of running. Doesn't really matter if he's winning the race, losing the race, what is happening, but he's just in the process of running. That is the state of flow. Now, when you're writing a blog, somebody who really loves writing and is writing a blog or writing on the pen and paper with something normal that he is not even able to publish, किसी को दिखाने भी नहीं वाले, but just writing, you are in the state of flow. So in order to get in the state of flow for more number of times, you have to see that you're completely present, you're giving your attention, and whenever your attention is getting shifted, you bring it back, telling it to yourself that this is important for you. Okay, so when there's a lecture that is not interesting, what do you do that time? How do you get in the state of flow? This is a follow-up question that you people can ask me.
Yes, ma'am.
So
we will focus on that lecture.
So how will you focus? Because you're not interested. Why will you focus then?
Ma'am, it's like eat the frog.
Eat the frog. Very good. Tejaswini said eat the frog.
We will try to interact with the lecture.
Yes, we'll try to interact. So what used to happen when I am subjected to a boring lecture, what did I do is that I got curious about what is the thing that this PPT, this lecture, this teacher is trying to teach me. Now, when the content, sometimes teachers do that, they just randomly write things on PPT and come and present in the class. And no offense to anybody, but we as students don't like to see it or watch it or do anything. So I tell myself that this teacher is teaching me to be patient. This teacher is teaching me to patiently listen. So I give a reminder to myself, sit down and patiently listen. Sit down and patiently listen. So what happens? There is some knowledge transfer that happens to the teacher to me. Not maybe by that PPT or by what the person is saying, but by the intention of that person. You know, we are human beings. We catch up more on body language. We catch up more by eye contact. So knowledge transfer might not happen directly through words, but will happen through the body language of the teacher. This is something that I understood very late. That I can learn things from people at a subconscious level. So when you're finding things boring, just hold back and observe everything that is happening. Like, you know, without you enter meditative states, that you just sit down and see what is happening, what the teacher is doing, what students are doing in the class. You can find out some interesting things happening in the class. And then you are practicing concentration. Okay, what output will this exercise give you? You will practice concentration. If you're not interested in the lecture, you'll practice distraction. So we want to train our brain to concentrate. So concentrate how? You'll give cues to your brain that I am learning this. I'm learning to patiently listen to people. Okay, so this is something that you do. Any more questions about it, about the state of flow?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so how do you enter state of flow in terms of productivity? In that book which I read, they state that when the challenge is too difficult for you, you procrastinate it. When the challenge is very, very easy for you, you procrastinate it. So what to do now? What you can do now is you can take the challenge and make it just a bit challenging than your normal level. Like we do in the gym. Initially, we start with lighter weights. Okay, then we increase our weight a little bit, and then we build strength by progressive overloading. So it is like that. So they, by research, said that if the challenge of the task is increased by 4% of original, then you experience the state of flow. You want to do the task, you build the momentum. So now this 4%, we don't have to sit and measure. You can decide it for yourself. For now, you studied for example, for 30 minutes, your concentration was okay. So next time you study for 35 to 40 minutes. Okay. If you are exercising for a certain amount of time, increase that time after some time. Okay. So increase your challenge by a little bit, and then your reward will get increased by a little bit. Okay. So you can enhance your performance by using this technique of flow. Increasing your challenges by a little bit and then giving yourself a little bit more rewards. Okay. So after scheduling, I also want to discuss that decide what is the time that works for you the best. For example, if you're a person whose energy is very high in the morning, then I'm saying eat the frog. Eat the frog in the morning. If you're somebody whose energy is really high at night, then eat the frog at night. But don't do this thing, the leaks or the drains. Don't start your day with leaks and drains. So you understand, you have to fill a tank and you started with leaks and drains. The first tap you opened was of leaks and drains. You'll never be able to fill up the tank. So what you're going to do is start with a refuel so that your tank builds up. Okay? And this usually happens is that if you have practiced procrastination since morning, dealing everything, at night, your complete energy will be drained mentally and you won't be able to do even a single task. Anybody has experienced this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? You agree with me that this happens?
Yes,
So
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes,
start
ma'am.
with
So true.
refueling. Okay? So it's already 7 o'clock, but we have to take this session ahead. Are you all okay with it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you for questions. This session is getting interesting with your questions. So we are going to go towards how to live a stress-free life or how to cope up with stress as students. So I'll stop sharing and we'll come back on video mode. Yes. So I can see more people have turned on the cameras and I'm liking that. So tell me, what causes stress to you people? What do you think is a trigger of stress?
The fact that we take too many actions together, we wish to perform too many works together is also a major cause of stress. Like we want to we want to go out with our friends, but also have to study, we have to do for our projects, and all this stuff causes a substantial amount of stress.
Yes, Saurabh, I agree with you that we want to do so many things. But now, as I said, I told you about the scheduler, how to manage your time. So will you be scheduling when to meet your friends? Will you be scheduling all that so that it reduces your stress mentally?
Well, the fact is, ma'am, that whatever we try means it is all easy to say that yes, we will be using scheduler, but on means in the actual life or in practical purposes, it all messes up. Means that it's my personal experience. I have scheduled so many things that I'll do this in a certain way, but on a
Practical
on a
level.
later time, yes, it's all messed up. Like
Okay. So I talked about proactive planning and proactive execution, understanding that we are students. Okay. So I know this practically happens that you have scheduled, you made a to do list. Okay. This has happened with me. Made a to do list, received a call from my friend, went on. Okay. And then came back at night directly. So what happened to my to do list now? So the proactive planning is that you have scheduled a time where you're going to meet your friends. So if you have a call, like I had a call just before this session, that will you come and take up? So you tell that right now my priority is this. And for the beginning, it's very difficult to do that. We think what our friends might think, I really want to go out and do things for my friends. I want to spend time with them. The thing is, you're again telling your mind that my work that I have scheduled is not important. So this comes with practice. You are telling your mind with your actions that what I've scheduled is important. Okay. So if you want to proactively work and take charge of yourself, you have to do that and keep a time for your friends in your mind. Okay. Like for example, after 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, if my friends call me up, I'm going to go and meet them. On weekends, if it is possible, I'm going to go and meet them. Or if you're somebody who really loves his friends and wants to meet them every single day, schedule a time to meet every single day. Okay, very good service. Setting boundaries and saying no is a key. So stress management, stress, what is the cause of our stress? Taking up so many responsibilities and getting overwhelmed. And now tell me, if you have scheduled something and then you went and met your friends, how do you feel after coming back?
well, in that case, it's a satisfying experience.
It's a satisfying experience, but after some time, do you feel that all the things that I had planned have left incomplete? And does it increase your stress, like in the longer term?
No, I don't think so.
So that means your friends are a real priority for you. You should be putting your friends right now. I can understand, when you are in first and second year, your relationships are your real treasures. Your friends are your real treasures. But in order to build your other things, like for example, you can keep the work that you want to do minimalistic, okay? and complete it in the early part of the day and leave the complete day for your friends if you are somebody who really wants friends to be that big priority for you. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so completely understand where you're coming from. Anybody else wants to talk about what is the reason for stress?
Overthinking.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Sarthak, what were you about to say?
Same, ma'am. Overthinking, mind scrolling.
Overthinking.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, mindless scrolling, overthinking is a problem for stress. Yes, overthinking is a problem, but what triggers overthinking? Why do you overthink? Anybody knows? Why do we overthink?
Because we are too cautious.
Yeah, because we are too cautious. We are fearing failure. We are fearing the outcomes. Okay. So let's move ahead and see. What are the things that increase your stress? What are the things that are in your control and you can control? And what are the things that you cannot control and you have to cope with them? So as I said that you have to look at overall wellness, you have to look at your mind, your body. And as I said that our body and mind are instruments. So in order to keep them healthy, keep the instruments working, proper fueling up of the instruments, we have to see that these stressors are really, really less in our life. So what are these stressors? Okay. So before going to that, let me tell you a little bit about how our mind functions or how our brain functions. So I am stopping to share my screen for a while and pay attention here to me now. Okay. So this is just for explanation purpose. Okay. So this is my thumb is the fear center of the brain. Can you see my thumb? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
my thumb is the fear center of the brain, and this is usually protected by a flip. Okay. Now, in medical terms, they call it the prefrontal cortex or the CEO of our brain. Okay. That makes decisions, that is rational, that is intelligent. And this fear center, it is not intelligent. It is like a baby. It is like an animal. Okay. It shows flight or fright response. Do you know what is flight or fright?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that if it is fearful, it will either run away, it will either freeze in the moment, or then it will start doing things that are random. Okay, you will feel very uncomfortable when this gets triggered. So this fear center of the brain, when stress is increased, the activity in this fear center of the brain is increased. So the protective lid that is there, it gets exposed. Okay, it gets exposed, and now the stress gets on increasing. Okay, so what we want to do is those activities are refuels which keep this lead in proper position. So our refuel activities are actually protecting us from getting this fear center extremely activated. We don't want this fear center to be extremely activated because then it won't be able to help us. It will just make us either sit down, get fearful of things, overthink about things, get very cautious and do nothing. Okay, so it will behave like that. So in order to protect that, we need to do the refuel activities properly. So we will see what makes this flip go up. So if this flip stays up or your fear center keeps activated for a long time, okay, long time means for months, you're stressing about something for months, you develop chronic stress. And chronic stress is a real deal. It gets you into depression, it gets you into bad habits. Chronic stress drains you up. It can cause permanent ailments in your body. Okay. So there are research papers, there are TED Talks about how chronic stress destroys your health, your body, and what all mental health diseases it causes you. Okay, so you can go about and research about it if you find it interesting. But that is why stress management, that is why I'm focusing so much about your overall well-being. It is because we have to keep this very low, closed all the time. And when this is closed, there is another part of your brain that is responsible for your memory, that is responsible for giving you retrievals from your memory. We want as students to keep it proper. There the activity gets less when we are stressed. So if we want our mind to function properly, we have to see that we keep our stress in check. And chronic stress is something that students should never develop in their students' life. because it makes you study less. It takes you away from your academics. It makes you do things that you never want to do in your life. That is why staying away from chronic stress is really important. So I will be giving you all some long-term as well as some short-term coping mechanism techniques. Okay. So now what increases stress in our body is dehydration. There are things that are published. You can go and see how dehydration increases the stress in your body. And the symptoms of dehydration are exactly the symptoms of depression. So when your body feels dehydrated and depressed, it behaves in the same way. So if you're someone who doesn't take adequate amount of water, that is about 3 to 4 liters, then you should go and do it today. Dehydration really stresses you so much. You don't even know why are you feeling stressed today, and it may be because of dehydration. So it is something that is in our control. Do you all agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we do the simple thing? Now, second thing is inadequate sleep. The hormone that is going to make this flip open will be released if your sleep is inadequate. Okay, so there are really good hormones that release in your body when you adequately sleep. And when we are in a student's life, we have the habit of wasting our whole day and then spending nights either studying or spending nights in all the leaks that I talked about. So we don't want to do that. So hereafter, if you're not feeling sleepy, I'll tell you what tools you can use to make yourself sleep properly, and then taking care that your body is hormonally balanced. Hormonal imbalance is seen mostly in students because, first of all, sometimes they're staying away from their home, not getting healthy food, not taking care of themselves. And that is why students get exposed to all these kinds of things in stress. Okay, addictions are caused because of your stress. Now, the next thing that causes stress is unhealthy food. Do you really think that unhealthy food causes stress? Can somebody help me in explaining this concept?
Ma'am, stale food can mix unhealthy, and it can be made up stress.
Yes, stale food is okay. We don't consume stale food, right? Because it doesn't taste good, and we don't even consume stale food. What kind of
Ma'am, in
food
the
am I
village
calling?
area, ma'am, in the
Yeah.
village area, it is common, ma'am. My
Oh,
grandfather makes stale food for me.
oh, so you should be making healthy food for both of you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm talking about the junk food or the food that drains your energy, the food that does not do any good to your body. So if you see that if you eat junk food for a long period of time, the amount of sugar that is released in your body actually makes your body more and more prone to opening that lid. Okay, so there is a research that can be backed to prove this point. But then, even if you make one observation, you won't be needing any research. Eat junk food for some time and see how your body is reacting. You become lethargic. You don't want to get up from a place. You want to move your body in a certain way, but you're not able to do it because that food has caused inertia in your body. So there is food that causes aliveness, there is food that causes inertia. So see that you take in food that is causing aliveness in your body. So is eating healthy food in our control?
Yes, it is.
Now, have you gone under certain stress where you ate a lot of chocolate, you ate a lot of ice cream, or in stress you ate a lot? Has this somebody happened to someone?
Well, ma'am, I had a short period during my 10th. I had a lot of, urge to eat chocolates and ice creams. And I was completely eating and I was just eating it up, gobbling it up to say. So,
Exactly. This happens, and it is because stress in your body has increased. So, in order to cope with that stress, you have to do certain other things and not binge eat. Okay. So, binge eating, binge drinking, all these things happen because of stress. And again, they're increasing stress in your body by making your body release hormones or release hormones in less quantity and causing hormonal imbalances. So, this is increasing stress in your body. Now, as students, this is one of the biggest stressor, that is your peer pressure. How many of you experience peer pressure? Can you unmute yourself and tell this is the reason why I experience peer pressure? Do we understand what is peer pressure?
Yes, ma'am.
So peer pressure is comparing yourself with others, seeing what others are doing, and then trying to do the same thing. But already you have so much to do. Again, comparing yourself, and this is also what I'm going to do, causing yourself more and more stress. Does this happen to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. In school days, it happened.
Even today, ma'am. It's even now when we see that the students that are with us are often doing the feats which we are not able to do, then that actually makes the peer pressure a possibility.
Yes, so this is a real deal. So peer pressure is also that there is something that you don't want to do. But when your friends, you see if you, all of your friends doing it, you see all of friends doing it and being happy for some short term period of time. You also do it. You also be happy for some short term period of time. But in the longer term, you regret it. Does this happen to you? Anyone?
Yes, like going in for a bunk for a short period, it's like, yes, we are enjoying it. And then on a long term, it causes a loss of study. It's a study, like, in that way.
Exactly. You know, their maximum time students develop addictions, drinking habits, bad taking in drugs and alcohol, in not in in healthy amounts. All this happens. The major reason is peer pressure. And do we want our newer generation, which is a game changer generation, to come under peer pressure and stress and lose all their energy in all these activities? Or do we want them to cope with it, to develop our body in certain way that it rejects all these things, saying that in long term or in short term, this is not healthy for me? Now, when your focus has shifted from all those external things to maintaining your body, your mind, your wellness, your hormonal balance, your emotional balance, then you will be able to say, yes, this is not healthy for me. Comparing myself to somebody else is not healthy because I have my direction in life. Why do we compare ourselves to others? It is because we don't know what is important to me. Now, if taking soft skills courses and helping students to find their purpose is important to me, and I see someone doing extremely well in something else, some other field, do I get stressed about it? No, because I know what I'm doing is my purpose. I really feel satisfied after this. When I see students making healthy shifts in their habits, makes me happy, and I'm aligned to my work, then I comparison won't happen. And if it is happening, it is not going to stress me up. Okay, so being authentic. Authentic means what is important for you is important for you. Okay, and you're able to set boundaries and say no to the things that are not important to you, and able to set priorities, give maximum time to the day to those block which wasn't urgent but it was important for you, will help you be a powerful person, will help you say no. And if somebody is your real friend and you say no to that person will understand that this is his priority. For this session today, I might have said 3 of friends know that I cannot come because it was a weekend and they were calling me up to meet up. I really want to meet them. But this is my passion, right? This is something that I've prepared for the whole week. So I'm coming and doing this. This is giving me immense satisfaction. It is strengthening my habit of being consistent, of being committed, of reducing all those things that cause me stress. Right? So this is how you deal with peer pressure. You deal with peer pressure by being authentic. And I'm spending so much time on this topic of peer pressure is because all the unhealthy things we do, all the draining things, the harm we cause to ourselves is because of peer pressure. So if you make yourself strong, then you will be making your friends strong too. You will be saying your friends that this is your priority, do this. Let that person drain himself. You do the proper thing. So first you become an inspiration, then your friends will change. Don't try to change other people. You become an inspiration, then other people will shift their habits, and you see your friends coming to you and saying, how did you do this? Tell me also, how do I take charge of my time? Okay, so you can be the one who is leading your friends in right direction by leading yourself in right direction. So hereafter, no getting stressed by peer pressure. Okay. So now let's move on to uncertainty. Now, uncertainty is something that is not in our control. Changes are happening at very fast paced in this world. So we have to keep ourselves prepared to give the performance that we want to and yet not be stressed about it. So if you have to give a very big output one day, okay, you have to do something that is urgent and important, okay, you are going to give all your output that day, and you might feel a little bit of drain after that particular time. That is probably possible because you have given a lot of output. You don't know how to recharge. That time you can take help of these things like talking to friends, you have built healthy relationships, talking about them, telling them how your day went, what was the output, how did you feel about it. If you have hobbies like painting, dancing that really help you relax, then do that things. As I said, if you're somebody like me, for him creative self expression is very important, being creative is very important, then you can schedule your time for creative self expression. Like, for example, after everything is done, just before sleeping, I might use my diary, my journal, or I might speak about my day on Instagram. All these things of creative self expression. Maybe make a short reel of how my day was. Anything that I want to do, I will schedule that. So, how do you deal with uncertainty? You take charge of your inner self. You keep your inner self happy. If your inner self is happy, the person will deal with its uncertainty. You'll happily say, okay, this is a roller coaster ride for me. Let me go up and down. Then I'll take care of myself and I'll come back stronger. That's how you deal with uncertainty. Now, doing too much or too little, as somebody said, that overworking can cause real big stress. So, setting boundaries, okay, that I will work only this much because this is my capacity, or doing too little than what is expected of you. And then how do you decide this? It comes with practice. You do certain amount of work and see how is your body mind reacting towards it, and then according to that you do other things with yourself. Okay, now let's move on to the next thing, but I would like to take a short break of 2 minutes. You can have water or something, and then we will cover the next things. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
yeah, just 2 minutes break. Anybody wants to ask any question by the time? Oh, Sarthak, you enjoyed it. Thank you. Sarvesh Wag is asking how to set priorities. Sarvesh, as I told you about the matrix, that is urgent, important, not important, write down your activities in that blocks and then see that which block is giving you maximum energy. So devote time to those things. Time to those things which are urgent and important. But what happens is when you devote time which is urgent and important, okay, but see to it that maximum chunk of your time you are giving to things that are not urgent but important, so that you get those things done, refuel yourself, and then move towards the things that are urgent and important. Okay, it is really a personal choice of what do you want to do first. So I'm somebody who likes to refuel myself, so first thing I'll go and exercise and then start my day. If you're someone who likes to take the headache of you out of your mind, you want to do the things that are urgent and important first, complete that in the morning and then start your day, you can do that too. So whatever makes you recharged, fueled up, do that.
Got it, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start again. The break is
Yes.
over.
Yes.
So how was the session so far? Enjoying, or is it getting too long for you?
Enjoying learning new things and getting done. Like we are knowing our mistakes now and what we have to avoid in future. We are getting that skills.
Yeah, that means that we are on the same page and we are working towards it. Now, what are the long-term habits that you can develop to have a stress-free life? Now, long-term habits are going to ensure that this grip is strong. The fear center is protected. Okay. So those are the long-term habits. And we see the effect of long-term habits so nicely once it starts building momentum in your daily life that you won't leave these habits when you get started. Okay, so the first habit is unwinding every night. As I said, that if you feel drained after a long time of work, you overworked or you did something where you had to give a lot of input or a lot of output, and that time you can have some unwinding things before going to bed. That is using affirmations. You know affirmations? What are positive affirmations? Anybody of you? Okay, I'll tell you what are positive affirmations are. A instruction that you're giving to yourself that yes, I can do this, like I am stronger. For example, I take a workshop where I teach students to speak in English who are not so confident and clear in English. So I give them the affirmation that every day before coming to the workshop, say I can speak English confidently and clearly. So what happens is this is giving you energy to do the things that you find difficult. Okay, so you can use affirmations. There are so many affirmations used online on YouTube. You can go and find out. The one I like to use is of Sandeep Maheshwari. Before he has a morning affirmation and night affirmation. Night affirmation is something that I use most of the time when I have worked or overworked, where he says that, you know, my day was really good. I forgive everyone. I am grateful for having all the beautiful people in my life. I'm happy for whatever I have today. So sleeping with these feelings soothes down the fear center of your brain. Okay. So whatever tension has been caused or damage has been happened, it helps you soothe down a little bit. So affirmations make you feel good. Now journaling is writing down your thoughts. So overthinkers, so the people who overthink, write down all the random thoughts that are coming in your mind in your journal and then sleep. That means you're dumping everything that has causing damage to in your mind, you're dumping everything in a journal, and then you're sleeping with an empty mind. Okay, people who experience lot of anxiety, okay, you can use deep breathing. What happens is when the fear center gets activated, the oxygen supply goes to our key functioning organs, our survival organs like your heart, your kidneys. They start receiving a lot of oxygen, and what happens is your mind, your brain is not receiving adequate amount of oxygen. Your CEO is not receiving oxygen, not able to function properly. So do deep breathing, hold that breath for some time and then exhale. Okay, so deep breathing is a good exercise when you can do it for long term, for short term. You can see what other pranayam practices are there in our Eastern culture. You can also see some Western practices, whatever works for you. See that you are refueled your system. Okay, so second thing, don't keep unfinished business with people. You know what is unfinished business? कि चलो आज मेरा मेरे फ्रेंड का झगड़ा हो गया एंड विद द थिंग कि मैंने क्या बोला, उसने क्या बोला, व्हाट रियली हैपेंड एंड हाउ कुड आई सेड इट डिफरेंटली, उसने कुछ और बोलना चाहिए था. With all this clutter, if you go and sleep in your mind, you're going to wake up restless. No rest taken, no good hormones released, no relaxation happened overnight. So before sleeping, if you are not able to solve the problem with your friend, at least do one thing, that before going to sleep, forgive your friend for whatever happened. Be grateful for other friends that you have in your life. Okay? And say to yourself that I'm forgiving my friend and I know that my friend will come back and forgive me too. So sleep with that belief that when we really, appreciate someone, when we really like our friends, we forgive them quickly, right? But there are some people who have the tendency to hold on to anger, to hold on to the pain. And if you have that habit, let me warn you right now, this is going to damage you for long terms. So in order to do that, forgive your friend. If something really bad has happened, write a letter to your friend in your diary on a page, tear that letter up after it, but don't send it to your friend, okay? Don't let the person read what you've written about that person. Just tear it away or keep it apart, read it later on sometime, but get the negative energy out by forgiving, by practicing gratitude, writing that if nothing good has happened today in your life, just write, I'm happy for having my parents. I'm happy for having this technology with me that I can connect with people. Practicing gratitude in longer terms makes you a stronger person. And I have done it, and I have seen lots good result happening just with this one feeling of gratitude in your heart. It really grounds you. Okay. So any questions regarding the unwinding or gratitude unfinished business thing?
No questions, ma'am, but I want to share my experience that I regularly do this thing before sleeping, and it really works.
Yeah, it really
It
works.
makes day fulfilled.
It makes you feel satisfied and fulfilled.
Yes, and soul calms.
And your soul
Great
calms.
therapy.
It's a good therapy.
Yeah.
So these things have been suggested by therapists. I have been attending sessions by a psychotherapist, all sorts of people. I love to educate myself. So I have seen all those people talk about these things, and I have tried them, worked for me. Then only I've written it in my presentation. Otherwise, I wouldn't have written. So I have a habit of experimenting everything before I present it to anyone. And the real definition of productivity for me is that when you go to bed, you have a big smile on your face. You're feeling so satisfied from your inner self that I believe in. When I was the chairperson of social welfare and development, I used to go and do like 3-4 activities in a day, do my college studies, do everything, and still have that last energy to go and hang out with my friends. Still tell them that, this is all what I did. And I used to go to bed so satisfied and relaxed. Now I'm giving you an example of time where I had lot many tasks to accomplish. Right now, my life is not that busy. And I practice all these things and I'm happy with my life. When I was busy and I was under the pressure of so many tasks, that time I also made sure that I go to bed with this big smile that used to make me feel proud of myself that I accomplished something today. I made a difference in somebody's life. So that is productivity. You use your potential. You don't even have a little bit more to give and then you go to bed. Okay. So from your inner energy, the tank is filled. But now you are satisfied with all the output you gave. Now you can close the output model. That is the time when real productivity happens. Maximum of the time you experience the state of flow. You were involved. You were involved in your work. When I did social work, I remember I was so involved that I forgot about myself. I became so one with the orphanage, with the people with I was working with, the children, with old age homes, that I lost about my problems, about my things. I experienced oneness with people around me. And that is productivity. You do things that really matter to you. You do things that are expected from you, setting boundaries and saying no. You prioritize yourself. You prioritize your family, your friends. And it is not juggling all this. It is mindfully planning and executing, and then having some time for yourself for taking care of yourself before sleeping and going to bed calmly and peacefully. Okay. So this is one of the things that happened with me and how I managed my time. So in order to get that energy and do all those things, where does that energy come from? That comes from either your food and your exercise. Exercise puts you in an amazing mind frame, proper mindset that you want to have. And that is why exercise is important. If you can't go to the gym and work out for, if you can't work out for longer periods of time, see to it that you're doing at least 20 minutes of exercise. 20-25 minutes. There are high intensity interval trainings on YouTube. You can go and search for it, whichever fitness expert you're finding aligning with yourself. Go ahead and do that. It increases the oxygen supply to your organs. Okay. And second thing, it increases your lung capacity. Okay. So you have the ability to hold on to a lot of more oxygen that you can. So you are doing the maintenance part of your body when you're exercising. Okay, and then refueling it with healthy food. When you exercise, you have to eat healthy food. If you're exercising and not eating healthy food, your body will say that, oh God, I cannot do this. I need good fuel in order to perform well. So that is the beauty of exercising. And last thing that is my favorite is to meditate and practice concentration. Meditations are of different kinds. Whatever works for you, do that. And meditate for, start with 5 minutes. Okay, just observing your breath, and then practice concentration in anything. If someone is talking to you and finding that person boring, just concentrate deep listening. When you deeply listen, you connect with this person at a very different level. And there is the thing, you practiced concentration. You don't feel like I wasted my time. You practiced concentration, and now this concentration will show up in examination. This concentration will show up while playing. Okay, so these are your long-term habits. And if there are any sports enthusiasts, okay, in this classroom, don't give up on your sports. Don't give up on your hobbies. Pursue your hobbies. Take out time for your hobbies. Okay, if it is possible, frequency can be adjusted once in a week, twice in a week, whatever is your take on it. Do that, because it is telling your body that I admire you, I take charge of you, I will do things to maintain you. Okay, so these are our long-term habits to have a stress-free life. Okay, so doing things that you really like to do and suits you from within is something that you should be doing from long-term perspective. Any questions regarding long-term habits?
Ma'am, I'm having a question.
Yes.
My question is lack of self-discipline causes me stress.
Okay, so can I ask you a follow-up question? Why do you think that you are indisciplined? What makes you think like that?
Maybe lack of purpose.
Lack of purpose. Okay. So have you ever tried to figure out what is your purpose?
No, actually, there are many things I have thought about it. Means I have to do this also, this also.
Okay. So I have a suggestion for you. Start with simple things, okay? So how do you teach discipline to your body? Till now, we have never practiced discipline maybe till our student life, and now you think that discipline will increase your efficiency. So start with doing the smaller things right. Now, for example, your body feels very stable, your fear center is in check when you eat food on time. Okay, your body knows that I am going to get food at this particular point of time, so I don't have to hunt for it. So for example, you take breakfast between 10 to 11 o'clock, then you take lunch between 2 to 3, and this. So in students' life, when we were attending our offline colleges, we had a tendency to skip either breakfast or lunch because of lecture schedules or etc. Now my mind wants energy, it's hungry. Now how do I tell them all these things if I give this time management session to a hungry mind? How will that take up anything? Discipline तो समझ में ही नहीं आएगा फिर. तो डिसिप्लिन प्रैक्टिस करने का स्टार्ट होता है आप टाइम पे खाना खाओ एंड स्टे हाइड्रेटेड. कैन वी स्टार्ट विद दिस स्मॉल थिंग ऑफ ईटिंग फूड ऑन टाइम? Yes?
Yes.
So eating food on time will ensure that your body is in a preparedness. Okay, so whenever you see people who are in the army or who are getting trained for certain time, they are the people who are highly disciplined, right? So when their training is happening, their food proportion is decided, the time is decided, everything is fixed. So body doesn't have to run here and then, so mind doesn't run here and there. So your mind and body are deeply connected. So what do you do to build discipline is that there are some time that you have to fix, that you are going to develop healthy habits about. Like for example, your exercise time, your time that when you're going to have your food, time that you're going to sleep and wake up. See, if you can adjust your biological clock properly, then discipline won't be an issue. Then time management, stress management won't be an issue. Okay, so adjust your biological clock properly. So we say that if you don't have a purpose, why will you get up in the morning? So do things that you really, really like. If I have to take session at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, you tell me to take a session at any time of the day, I'll say, okay, done, I'm coming. That is the kind of calling I have for this passion. So do you have that kind of calling for something? If you don't, then go and research about it. Find your ikigai. Ikigai is your purpose. Okay? So if you don't have a purpose, don't get worried about it. See that what makes you interesting. There is an authenticity workout on my YouTube channel. You can go and watch it. It will help you to align a little bit with your purpose. Okay?
Actually, ma'am, I was really disciplined in school, but the fact is that means things went on happening. Means 11, 12 science, then I
Mm-hmm.
got good marks, then I went into engineering.
Okay.
So that's the thing.
Okay. So now are you interested in this field, or what? How are you feeling about this field?
The the thing is that up to some limit I get the dopamine hit, but after some time I don't get that dopamine hit of doing that thing.
Okay, so you can try out other things too. Because see, when this happens is that when you get used to something, after sometimes your brain doesn't release dopamine about it. Really. So you have to look for new hobbies now. Okay. Are you academically and all those things, are you doing it well? Happy with that? With those achievements?
Currently not.
Currently not. So see that the things that really make you happy. Like you said, in school you were disciplined. So see what was the reason that was making you disciplined. Was it because of your parents you were disciplined, or was it because you wanted something you were disciplined? Okay, so we can have a discussion about this once we finish all our slides. Okay, so I hope that's okay for you. Yes. So now, how to cope with stress when stress has really triggered in your body and now you don't know what to do. You are in a setup where you can't, just shut down and switch off, and where you really have to perform. Like for example, you're about to go to on a stage and speak, and something happens to your body, feeling really nervous and stressed. Okay, or somebody argued with you, or somebody said something to you in an angry way, you did not like it, you don't want to react to that person, and now there is a lot of stress happening in your body. What to do? All these little hacks will help you to relax for some time. Okay, so drinking a glass of water, or holding water here in your throat, or gargling will help you release the tension. So as I said, dehydration is a increases your stress. So hydrate yourself, gargle if it's possible for you, or hold water here. Okay, that will really help. Now, second thing, if you have a stressful day, okay, and you want to relax, it's very easy. Tense every muscle of your body and relax. Tense and relax. What happens is, if stress has manifested in some way in your body and is causing you some pain, it will go away. So practice stretching. Stretching has its other benefits, but the main benefit stretching has, it helps you release all the tension that you have gathered. Simply, if you stretch your neck, your shoulders, just after the session, or maybe while you're working on your computers, you feel a lot of relaxation happening. So you have to keep your body relaxed. That's very important. Now, third, connect with supportive people. As someone said that relationships are really important. Yes, relationships are important. So talk to a person who makes you feel relaxed. Talk to your mother. Talk to the things about you like. Talk about your strengths. Okay, so get into a happy mood. That's what I want to say. Now, fourth thing is, remind yourself that there is no real threat. Now, when I said the fear center gets activated, it thinks that it is a flight or fright response. Now, you know the evolution process. From animals, we developed this DNA, and then now we are human beings. Okay, so this DNA has all the information or the memory that it has gathered through the process of evolution. It has all the memory of being attacked by some people, threats, removed from the group. Now, when somebody was socially removed from the group in the past of the Stone Age, that person had to die because of other attacks from other groups or from other animals. So being in a group really meant a lot for us. Social validation that we call today. So when something happens, remind yourself that you're safe. You're in a safe space. So you can keep your hands on your heart, press it a little bit, and then say that I am safe. It relaxes a lot. Try this in a stressful situation. You'll find yourself relaxed. Okay, so this was about the short-term things. Now, my conclusive thoughts about time management, stress management, taking charge of your overall well-being as students is that as students, don't run behind results, the outcomes of something, because now we are in a phase of building momentum of our career. So focus on emphasizing the habits that you build for lifelong. Build habits for effective stress and time management. Everything will adjust itself. Your friends will adjust. Now you might feel like if I say no to a friend, I might lose that friend for the lifetime. Real friends always come back. Real friends understand your priorities. Real friends forgive you. Real friends say sorry. Okay? So all of these things happen. So don't fear that I will lose this thing. I will lose this thing. We make a long to-do list. Why? Because we are afraid of losing things. The things that are really meant for you and things you are meant for will never leave you. But the thing is, you have to make it a priority. If career is your priority, then make certifications a priority, gaining knowledge a priority. Okay? So you increase the value of your time by giving it to yourself or to somebody else. Your time is your biggest asset. Okay? Second thing, your mind and your body is an instrument to maintain it properly. As I said, that number one priority for me is my health. So see to it that you're attending to your mind, your body, and your emotional well-being properly. You're forgiving everybody. You're practicing gratitude for your emotional well-being. You're doing things for your mental health. If you have the habit of overthinking, schedule a time for the day where you're going to allow yourself to randomly flow, your thoughts to flow. Write those thoughts down in a book and read it again some other time. You'll know that your thoughts, these thoughts are meaningless. They are draining your energy. And if somebody is really facing the problem of overthinking, I have made a roadmap video about overthinking because I have been through it in my student life and I have figured it out how to deal with it. So you can go and watch that video. It is really helpful. The third thing is we learn more by execution than our plans. So take action, make mistakes. Even if you fail, you learn a lot. And when we are in a student life, there is no such thing as failure. It is learning. Everything is learning. You think that this thing can make me closer to my purpose, try it out. At least if it doesn't take you closer to your purpose, you will get to know that this is not my thing. I don't want to do this. If by mistake you think that people pushed me to take engineering now and now I'm doing it, build connections here. Build connections here. Get with like-minded people who can help you to get to the positions that you want to go. So this, your club, is a very good community to meet to new people, to upgrade yourself and do things that you really want to do. So protect your connections, your network, your collaboration, because those are the people that are really going to help you. And I am saying this after 4 years of my engineering. Trust me, in the second year, there were hardly any clubs in my college that I did not go and attend the functions. I did everything. And then I figured out that social welfare and development was something that I want to go and I want to do something for this cause. So if it takes time for experimentation, go ahead and then come to a decision. And once you have taken the decision, put yourself 1000% in it. Transformation will happen. Okay. So if you want to see transformation in yourself, it starts with a small change. Then you develop your habits and make that change sustainable in your life. And that sustainable change creates transformation. You become a process-oriented person, and then you don't worry about the goals. I make my YouTube videos. I love the way when I make my YouTube videos, I love the thought process that is going on in my mind. I love to be in the state of flow while making the videos. Then I don't really care, how many likes the video receives, how many comments are in the video. That doesn't matter. There are some people, when I share this thing, they say that, how doesn't it matter to you? It should matter to you as a creator. I said, no, expressing and making that video gives me the real kick. And that is at some other level. No number of likes and comments can either give me the kick anytime. So you see, in sports, playing matters. Hitting that shot matters to a player. Even though they lose the match, they come back stronger because playing cricket matters to them. So that is the result of process orientation. Be oriented to the process. Put yourself 1000% in it so that outcomes are never a question. Your belief in yourself has increased after the action. That is the charm and magic of being process oriented. Be process oriented. Fourth thing, at the end of the day, you are tired yet joyful. Your body physically might think that I am tired, but your mind, your internal feeling, it is happy. You feel expanded. You feel bigger. You can proudly say, I'm better than yesterday. After this session, I can proudly say, I am better than my last session. I have improved so much on these points. So that is something that you should be looking for to become productive. Then you can say, yes, I have managed my time and my stress properly. Okay, then there will be no guilt. This is one of the triggers that after doing that activity for long term and for short term, there is no guilt in your body and mind. Okay, so this is something that we should be looking for as students. So this is the end of my presentation and my delivery. I hope that you liked it and this session added some value in your life. Did it?
Yes, ma'am, it did.
Okay. So Tejas, we can stop the recording now and we can take up some questions, and people who want to leave can leave maybe. Okay.